No one lives forever. Call to Master Kodukuna Yang. Hello, I'm Sensei the Dark Master, and in today's spooky Halloween special of Ninjago lore, we shall be covering the greatest fear of all, death. We shall be talking about this all-encompassing concept and its effects and impact on the series. And trust me, it has had quite the impact indeed. Death came into existence alongside life at the beginning of time when the first living thing died. It has claimed many, many beings across the history of Ninjago, and in many different ways that include dismemberment, disintegration, starvation, poisoning, falling from great heights, disease, mortal injury, and of course, peacefully dying in bed due to old age. When you die in Ninjago, and you will die, there are three realms that you could end up in. First, if you happen to be a warrior who hasn't come to terms with their disgrace in battle, especially those attempted to conquer Ninjago, they are sent off to the underworld. I covered this realm in a separate video previously, which I recommend you checking it out if you're interested in more details on the concept and what exactly the underworld is. If your soul is cursed, then you are banished to the cursed realm, which is this greenish, ghostly, eldritch abomination location, also referred to as the preeminent, at least until Nia destroyed the cursed realm with her water powers at the end of Possession. The third realm is the final resting place for everyone, and it is the departed realm. This is also where Skulkin go when they die. Yes, in Ninjago, even the dead can die a second time. Indeed, many have died, including the first Spinjitzu master himself, who is essentially God in this context, that meaning yes, in the context of Ninjago, God is dead. Though he's not really gone, as he can still interact with the living, so he's never really gone.
No one's ever really gone.
Other dead people include Dr. Julian, Zane's creator, Delara, the former love interest of Nauticon, the Jinn pirate captain, Cliff Gordon, who is Jay's biological father, the Emperor and the Empress of Ninjago, Hutchins, Lily, who is Cole's mother, Quanish the Elder, Samukai, all of the Iondochondri except Pythor, and all the Pyrovipers except Asphera, as well as all the cursed ghosts who were banished to the departed realm after the cursed realm's destruction, the Ultra Dragon, and even Trimar. Yes, quite a few people of importance have died. Despite this seeming overabundance of death, there are 11 known ways for someone to return to life after death. But these are in general considered immoral, as it goes against the natural order of the world, and one does not do that lightly. And the consequences of such methods can prove to be even worse than death itself. So really, you gotta be an extra level of evil to even try it. Firstly, an individual can be resurrected with the help of a person with a higher incredible power, like the first Spinjitzu master, or the Overlord when he brought back Harumi from death. Second, there is the Rift of Return, which is an opening between dimensions through the fabric of reality. that enables a departed ghost to cross and become living again. However, it is very difficult to access, as one must use the yin blade during a rare eclipse that only happens every 3,721 years. So, if you miss your shot, you're going to be stuck wherever you are for a very long time. The yin blade itself can give the victim slash user a life in a sort of ghost like limbo. However, with the yin blade's destruction, both of these methods have been lost forever. Related, when using a departed blade to kill one's murderer, or at the very least one closely associated with the circumstances that caused your own death, one can be resurrected by the yin blade itself. Another way one can quote unquote regain life is by escaping the cursed realm or the underworld, though said escapee is trapped in an undead body, either skeletal or ghostly. One can also be resurrected by the mega weapon, like when Garmadon accidentally resurrected a band of pirates led by Captain Soto. With the mega weapon's destruction, however, this method was similar to that of the Yin Blade, completely lost. One can also regain life by reversing time on a corpse of the deceased, like Garmadon did with the Grendel. There is also resurrect tea, a type of tea that gives a temporary postponement of death that requires that the deceased's body be next to it so that they can ingest it. Samukai used this on Dr. Julian in order to force him to build vehicles for his skeletal army. The devious jinn can return a person to life in two separate ways. Firstly, a jinn king can put the spirit of a dead person in the body of a living being, kind of like possession, and it's what Nadakon did to Nia, and to a lesser extent what Moro did to Lloyd. One can also be put into the Jinn Blade and be trapped in a crystalline limbo for eternity. Necromancy is another method in which the dead can come back to life, like how the Skull Sorcerer utilized the skull of Hazador to bring back his resurrected warriors. With the three Oni masks united, one can resurrect a person with Oni blood. However, this method is extremely limited as the amount of people with Oni blood is very small, and with the destruction of the Oni masks of hatred and deception, this method has been lost forever. Prime Empire, being a video game, gives the player 3 lives, and there's technically not a true form of death, at least not in the truest sense. Overall, what do we learn from the concept of death in Ninjago? Well, it is thanks to death that the conflicts in both Ninjago and our real world have really any stakes and meaning whatsoever. It also tells us to treasure our time and lives, as this is the real world, and there really isn't a way to bring someone back from the dead, and even if there was, who knows what would come back, and if it would even be the same person. I am Sensei the Dark Master. Remember to have a good day and happy Halloween. Next time we'll be covering the one being in all of Ninjago that death has no power over. Happy Halloween.